From that day, we share cafe lattes. Ooh, cafe lattes. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 16 of Having a Lovely Chat. Now, it's coming up to Paddy's Day, and my guest, very suited to the holiday, is Mr. Paddy Cooney from Boann Distillery. How are you, Paddy?
Very well, Di.
Yeah, lovely.
Thanks a million
You
for
just
having me
brought
on
us
the
out.
show.
This could get very messy very quick.
Well, you were like, I was only joking about the drink, and I was like, well, I'm not joking about the drink, so.
I just had these two
Here we are
glasses.
having a drink.
Yeah. I have to say, this is absolutely delicious. I'm going to take a little sip before we kick off. And the name of that one is?
So that's Boann, Pedro Jimenez cask, probably my favourite in the range. Mixed mash bill, 45% malt, 50% raw barley, 3% oats, 2% rye.
Oh.
Half the casks were chestnut, half the casks were oak. So very unique offering, very big, very luscious, toffee, caramel, crispy bacon. I absolutely adore it, like drink it all the time. 47% ABV. The reason it's 47% is because there's 7 members of the family, so we like to we pay the tax man a little bit extra just to say that. So yeah, absolutely cracking
But
drink.
it's worth it because it's for the family.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all about the family, like.
Yeah. So, but right, before we get into all the different, because there's a lot I actually
There's a lot in it, yeah.
Yeah, there is that talk to me a little bit about your family and how you got started in Boann, and a little bit of history if you don't mind, because
Good
I
question.
think the one of the lads I was talking to was saying, I had you on as a guest, Andy Coyle. You remember him from McPhail's?
Oh, I do.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, you'd be interested." They're like the Guinness family, you Drogheda. And I was like, "Yeah, a little bit." Like, and people kind of like, So I was like, "Tell us a little bit about the history of Boann and how you kind of get into it and stuff like that."
Yeah, so I suppose it all comes back to my father, really. So my father started a business. Now, my dates might be off a bit here, but he started the business in 1970 odd, 72, 75, somewhere around there, with his brother Nicky. And my dad he was the youngest qualified accountant in Ireland. So his father died when he was really, really young, 16, 17. He tells me stories of bringing oxygen bottles up to his dad when he was doing the leaving cert. So he was one of those real determined, gritty people.
Yeah.
And he went off to London. He was the youngest qualified accountant, started learning mergers and acquisitions, started learning accountancy, started working for some big firms. And then I think about at the age of 28, 29, he came back to Ireland. He says that he couldn't get insured in his car over there, so that's take into that what you want.
Right.
Back in the 70s, if you weren't getting insured, so time to come back home.
Yeah.
And he started a business with his brother. His brother was an accountant as well, and they bought a little wholesaler in Tipperary with 5 employees, 2 trucks. And from there, he built it up to the biggest wholesale company in Ireland with a turnover of about 350, 400 million euro a year.
What were they wholesaling?
Everything.
Oh, everything.
Guinness.
Yeah.
He was bottling for Guinness at the start, back
Right.
when that was a thing. And then turned it into the biggest wine distributor, biggest beer distributor, biggest wholesaler in Ireland. So he would have been selling Guinness, everything like that. And he was manufacturing his own products in the background as well. So Devil's Bit cider. He started Tipperary Water, was his real...
Jesus, that's by chance.
Yeah, by chance on the table there. So, yeah, my dad started Tipperary Water, so he was pretty much the first or second. Himself and Ballygowan were kind of the first to really hit the market with water. So, very innovative, very gritty, built a huge amount of products from Devil's Bit cider, Country Spring soft drinks, Magic Stick Cool Pops, everything you can think of. So cider, beer, everything really. We had a cream liqueur company. We'd absolutely everything. Like, so we built that up to about 700 employees. Very big business, 13 depots all around Ireland. He could deliver a case anywhere within 24 hours in Ireland. And then the crash happened. All his customers went out of business, basically, so that put pressure on our business.
Yeah.
And then eventually we sold it to Bulmers in 2013.
Okay, so that was like Devil's Bit and
Basically the
The
whole
thing.
business
Okay.
except for Mary's, which is the cream liqueur company, which is pretty much our export arm. So it's a facility we still own today, and we make about 1 million cases of cream liqueur down there every year, and we also package all our whiskies down there. We package all our products
Okay.
down there. So that's a kind of a laboratory facility. It's white coats and hair
Right.
nets and all that stuff, you know. While Boann is a bit more fun. Boann, we
Yeah,
make
yeah.
all the liquid, we taste all the whiskey, we kind of, you know, formulate all our recipes, and then we send it down to Mary's for packaging and shipping.
Okay.
So that's kind of how it all came about in the end. But yeah, basically we sold the business and we had a few quid, and we spent it all on copper pot stills and the big building in Platten
Yeah,
Road,
yeah, yeah.
and we've been retrofitting it ever since.
Wow.
Still not finished. 10 years in.
Boy, what's the finish?
The visitor centre.
Right. Okay.
So
yeah.
that's the last phase, and we were supposed to do it in 2019. COVID happened,
Yeah.
pulled the plug and all that, built big warehouses instead to kind of mature our whiskey, which is great because they're air controlled, fully bespoke warehouses. So
Yeah, well, I was up there a few times. It's
really
beautiful.
good for our product at the minute. And yeah, so it's kind of where we are
So
now.
how did the
So
transition come from into whiskey?
my dad always wanted to do whiskey. We always loved whiskey. And at the time when we sold the business, there was a bit of a whiskey renaissance happening at
Yep.
the time. And we were like, okay. And initially we kind of wanted to start small, have a nice little romantic distillery, stone building, all that stuff. And then it just escalated.
Right.
We saw the building in Platten Road. The vision took a new
I
form.
can't remember that. Was that always a building there?
In Platten Road?
Yeah, yeah, I always- yeah.
So my dad knew, I can't think of their names now, who owned the building. And I was at that time, he was like, oh yeah, you should go up and have a look at our building there.
Right.
So it was empty at this stage. The banks had come in and closed it down, you know. So, and we bought it, and the sun was shining, you know, it's a big glass box.
Right.
The
Yeah.
sun was shining in one August morning, and we were like,
It's a message from
okay,
God.
this could change stuff. Obviously, it's about 10 times bigger than what we wanted to start off with. But yeah, so that was kind of the start of it. And from then, yeah, built it out to what it is now, I
Yeah,
suppose, you know. So it's great, yeah.
So your dad always had a love for whiskey.
He always had a love for whiskey. I had
Did
a love
you?
for whiskey. I did, yeah,
Yeah.
from a very young age. I used to get cold sores when I was really young.
Okay.
And like 13, 14, I used to get cold sores, and my dad would always give me a thimble of whiskey and go, keep dabbing that on your tongue, your lip there. And did that for years. Sure, by the time I got to, you know, drinking age, about a year later, I suppose,
I was numb.
I was well able to handle whiskey, well, you know, capable of
Yeah.
spirits and stuff like that. So yeah, it was something we always had a passion for. Like one thing we have in Boann is that we have a really passionate team, like, you know, from the top down. Basically have all our distillers are whiskey nerds. It's their hobby. It's, you know, so we've great conversations in there, and we really put a lot of thought into what we're doing. And it's something rare these days, I think, you know, because there's a lot of other products that are just a bit bland, a bit dull.
Yeah.
So we really try and just do top quality, keep innovating, do something different, do something special. And that's what we do with single pot still. So we spec out the whole distillery to make single pot still.
So when you say explain the single pot
Yeah, so
still,
single
if you don't
malt
mind.
is 100% malted barley.
Okay.
So what you see in Scotland and what you'd see a lot in Ireland as well. But single pot still is the old quintessential style of Irish whiskey. It's basically when the Brits taxed malt, the Irish started to use unmalted barley in their whiskey.
Okay.
And through that, we then use other grains as well. So we use oats, wheat, and rye. So the whiskey we're tasting now at the minute has a little bit of everything except wheat. So it's 45
Okay.
malt, 50 raw barley, 3% oats. Oats give a little creaminess. Rye gives a little spiciness. And then unmalted barley gives that big body, smooth finish, which I personally
Yeah,
love.
yeah, it's absolutely delicious.
Yeah, but that got 99 points out of 100 at the San Francisco Spirits Award last year.
Wow.
So one,
99 points out of 100.
yeah, so only two brands. So only
Wow.
two brands have ever gotten 99 points out of 100 is Boann PX and Redbreast 27-year-old.
Wow. Okay, that's a pretty big
Pretty
achievement.
big, yeah.
Yeah.
And Redbreast 27 keep beating me at the awards, but I guarantee you, I won't have to wait another 21.
Right,
Like, that's
yeah.
only a 5-year-old whiskey.
Okay.
So I won't have to wait. I guarantee I won't have to wait 21 years to
Right.
beat them. I'll do it a lot quicker than that.
That's the I'm coming for your red breast. I'm
we
coming for
beat
you.
we beat Redbreast 12 with our
Yeah.
3-year-old whiskey.
Wow.
So,
but what is it that allows you to beat them in that way? Is it the way it's
we use it's our stills
Yeah.
setup, I have to say. Well, our cask management extremely important, but obviously the spirit end of things is super important as well. So we use nanotechnology in our stills. Basically, I think we're the first ever distillery to use this in our distillery, and it's a specially formulated copper paint that we attach to the inside of the line arms. And the line arms is the big kind of horizontal bar running across the top of the condensers that eventually comes down to the pot. And what that does is that if you look at it under a microscope, it's like flying over the Andes. It's peaks and troughs.
Okay.
And what that does is it increases the surface area. So we get about 6 times more copper contact at each distillation than any other still. And the reason that copper is so important, the reason we actually use copper in the distillation process is because it attaches to the sulfates to form copper sulfate and actually pulls out all the unwanted nasty flavors that we don't want in our whiskey.
Okay, right.
So
right.
we're pulling out about 18 times more unwanted flavors that we don't want entering our spirit at the end, or our final spirit. So we won the world's best new make. Basically, the first year we started to distill, that's up against everyone.
That's
America,
amazing,
Japan, everyone in the world. So we
Yeah.
won the world's best new make, and pretty much we think it's all down to nanotechnology.
Wow.
Now we use turbo sub coolers as well, so we've got glycol running through the building, so we're able to take our spirit off at about 8 degrees. Just for comparison, Scotland takes it off at about 18, 20 degrees. So what that does is it makes it a very controlled spirit, so we're not losing any esters in the air.
Yeah.
It's a lot less volatile at those cold temperatures, so we can actually bring all that flavor into cask when we get there.
Wow. It sounds, just when you're saying that, such a learning process. Like, how did you find it at the start?
Well,
I'd say you were just like, what the?
thankfully we had a few quid at the start of the project,
Okay, yeah,
and
yeah.
when we were ordering the stills, we were like, sure, throw in the nanotech and
Right,
throw in
yeah.
that and throw in all the other stuff.
Everything you say is
good-
pretty, go for it.
Good thing we didn't do it at the end of the project. So yeah, but it was, so our stills are made by a company called Green Engineering. They're an Italian coppersmiths, and they actually partner with the Siena Institute of Distillation, and they had all these theorized papers, theorized works about how you could improve the spirit quality through certain ways of distillation, and nanotechnology was the big one, and subcoolers was also one of the big ones as well. So we were the first to kind of put that theory into practice and go for
paid
it.
off.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Well, when we won the world's best new make after year 1, like, the distillery was still being constructed at this stage.
That's pretty amazing. Like, if you're only on opening this and then you're going for straight into what's the market like in the whiskey market? I'd say it's very competitive, obviously.
Unbelievably competitive.
Like,
yeah.
So to break in like that, I'd say was your buzzing.
Well, we didn't have product to sell at that stage, but we did develop the Whistler brand prior to building the distillery. So we had the Whistler brand kind of 2015, 16. We started with 3 SKUs, and that went really well. That was our toe in the market. And then Whistler started to do really well. We started to develop it out. We started to bring in the honey. We started to bring in the cream liqueur. So the Whistler is kind of our fun brand. It's our cask finish. It can be single malts. It can be cream liqueurs. It gives us a broader scope to kind of do a lot of stuff with. While Boann is a pure single pot still brand, and we're trying to protect that purity as well and keep it that way. So Whistler allows us to do all the innovative stuff and a lot of learning. We learned a lot from the Whistler.
Okay. Yeah.
And a lot of that knowledge has been brought back into Boann now. And Boann is, I just love the brand. I love the product.
Yeah, so like they're 2 separate brands basically.
2 separate brands, yes. So the Whistler is kind of our single malt brand.
Yeah.
And then Boann is our pure pot still brand, all distilled in Drogheda, all with local grains. While the Whistler, we've some older SKUs, so we've actually bought in some of that whiskey as well. But right now we're actually bringing all our own spirit into the Whistler as it gets to the right age.
Okay.
So the triple oak now is about 50% our own spirit.
Yeah.
And soon it'll be most of our own spirit, because there's a little bit of grain in there that we don't actually make.
So and how do you manage that then in terms of what, like, barrels and stuff you put in? Or you know what I mean? It seems like very
Up at
logistic.
Boann, we have about
I've seen them on the drive boat.
29,000 barrels at the minute. So
It's crazy.
like, there's rooms. There's a lot. So we've one warehouse. We've kind of got 4 big warehouses out the back, which is kind of our long-term future stock. We don't really touch that much. The lads use lasers to put everything in, so it's really neat. You can't get access to the cask, so you can't really taste anything. But we have a very unique warehouse in between the distillery and the big warehouses, where we have all of our experiments, it's our flavor library, basically.
Okay.
Willy Wonka's
Whiskey
house
factory.
of whiskey, like, you know. So we've
it.
probably got 35 different recipes across 75 to 80 different cask types, from maple syrup, Ambriana wood, river salts, chocolate bitters, cocoa nibs and red pepper, like from your standard to your extremely wild, you know.
Yeah.
Japanese oak, Colombian oak, Brazilian oak, American oak, European oak, all the oaks.
Yeah.
Every
oak.
everything you can think of.
Yeah.
And this is kind of how we get to develop all our brands, is that we do a lot of tours, or a lot of private tours for, you know, future clients or whatever. So we go around and we taste things, and we bring them on the journey as well.
Would you do those kind of tours for normal Joe Soaps kind of companies?
We will when the visitor
When
centre
the visitor centre
yeah.
comes. Yeah, that was a question that my brother wanted to ask you, because he was saying, it's like, it'd be deadly if just, you know, a group of lads there and you go and have a little whiskey tasting.
It's a real treat now. I have to say.
I'd say so.
If you're half into whiskey, you'll love it.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, for sure.
It's extremely sensual. You get all the smells, you get all the flavors, all the tastes, all the knowledge. And we do it very different than a lot of the other distilleries. It's, you know, it's unapologetically our way.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And our way is a lot of innovation, a lot of flavors you've never tasted before. And it's, yeah.
So how is it you make the decision then of like, right, we're going with that
you
one?
know what the hard one is? Whatever about the core SKUs, they take a little bit longer. You know the way we release the solstice bottling twice a year. So the winter solstice and the summer solstice, we release a single cask, and they all sell out instantly, like, you know. They're the hard ones. They were easy at the start because we hadn't done it before, but as they got recognition
and then
they started selling out, then it became really hard to match that standard.
Okay,
you know?
yeah, for sure, yeah.
Because you can get it wrong as well.
And then you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. You're like, fuck,
we
gave off our best one.
You can definitely get it wrong. So the solstice bottlings are, the whole team's involved in that.
Right,
now,
okay.
It can take 6 months.
No way.
Yeah, it can take 6 months.
I'd say that is really, that's good fun at the same time.
Last year we couldn't decide between two casks, so we decided to release two casks.
Oh, you know? Right, okay.
So it's a bit of that, you know. All the team get involved. Everyone picks one. Generally, generally it's a democracy in that sense, because our distillery team is Italian, Argentinian, American, Russian, French, Irish. So we have a real eclectic team, and all just real spirit enthusiasts from around the world that wanted to work with Boann, because we're innovating loads and that sort of thing, you know. So some heated discussions, but we do. Well, when it comes to launching the solstice, the solstice has become a bit of pride and place.
Yeah,
you know?
it's a pretty big thing, and then you have to, you know, to be able to agree on it, like.
Yeah, it does get harder.
So no one has the final say. It is a democracy, is it?
My father always has the final say, but not so much about the products, you know.
Yeah,
Dad generally kind of looks after the day-to-day running of the business, all the not so sexy stuff, you know.
Yeah.
This is the sexy stuff. So
for sure.
Myself,
Going on podcast,
my siblings, and the team really go deep on the solstice bottlings. I don't know if you've ever had any of the solstice bottlings.
No, I haven't.
Really, really special, you know. For a young whiskey, they're an incredible thing, I have to say. You know?
Well, it's one thing we are
it's just picking one cask from thousands.
Yeah, like, wow. And then, so that's on that, right? Because I remember the last time I was up in the distillery and I was talking to you, like, how, for our listeners out there as well, is like, how do people, if you are releasing one, like, to be on the ball, to like, I want to fucking get this bottle, so how did they go about it? Just, is it sign up, or is it like...
The solstice is hard to get.
Yeah.
They can sell out pretty quick, but
we've
started to double the batches now of the solstice, because they were just selling out in like 40 minutes. They were crashing the website, all that stuff. So we are doubling the batches now, so it's a little bit easier to get them now. It's usually it was a 250 bottle release, which were gone instantly, like, and then we've put it up to maybe 500-600 bottle release. So 400 or 500 are gone on the day, and you know, shortly after the rest are gone.
Deadly.
But they're expensive, but they're just a real treat.
It's collectors and stuff like that as well.
Pure collectors pieces,
yeah.
Like, we only release them twice a year. And as I said, it's literally our entire team picking the best cask out of thousands and thousands. You know? And some of them are non-GI compliant. So some of them we can't actually call them pot still whiskey because we're breaking the rules. We put too much oats in. So about 5 years ago, we started, so Fionn O'Connor, he's probably the leading whiskey historian on the island of Ireland. He actually went through all the tax records. He's now a doctor because he got his PhD through this project. He went through all the tax records going back 200 years, was up in Middleton, was up in the library in Middleton, was everywhere, did this huge amount of research, and he basically got 10 recipes of all the distilleries that closed over the last 200 years, like Old Powers, Boann Distillery, all the ones that were super famous and then, kind of just petered out and disappeared. So we redistilled all those recipes in our kit. So we have a fully automated kit. Wow. So we have about 200 points of control. We could replicate batch after batch after batch the exact same. So he was really interested in our kit. And he was like, would you mind if you distilled these 10 recipes for my PhD?
So these are all old school.
Old recipes going 1850, 1860. Back when whiskey was oily. Like if you ever have the pleasure of tasting 50s pot stills or 60s pot still, it is a real treat. Like, super oily, incredible flavors. Yeah, it's just a phenomenal experience. Not much of it left now.
Right,
It's a phenomenal experience, So we redistilled all these recipes, and some of them had 30% oats. Now, IDL wrote the technical file back in 85 when Pernod bought it, and they were only allowed to use 5% other grains.
Okay.
Because they were the only distillery there. It was them, Kilbeggan, Bushmills, and Cooley. So there's 4 distilleries on the island. So they wrote the technical file. And when I say technical file, same like champagne.
Yeah.
There's certain rules we have to follow for it to be called Irish whiskey. But what Fionn figured out, and what we discovered through these 10 distillates, was the difference that the impact of high oats, high wheat, high rye, or whatever variation you wanted. So some of the recipes we've done are 30% oats, 10% rye. And if once I do that, if I'm over 5% other grains, I can't call it Irish whiskey.
Oh.
Yeah. So we've probably got 5,000 casks of this stuff that we can't call Irish whiskey. Yeah. Because we were after the flavour.
Yeah.
So oats make it unbelievable. And some of these vintage mash bills are some of the solstice releases. That's why they sell out so instantly.
Right.
So that's now actually at EU level. So the technical file is about to be changed to allow the inclusion of 30% other grains.
Okay.
So Irish whiskey's really starting to find its own way here against the world, and it's purely going back to what we used to do 100 years ago.
Wow. And was it because of him that it was figured out? Like,
well, he figured out all the recipes, and then we had the equipment
to kind of
and the balls, I suppose, because we had to close our distillery down for a month and distill all these mash bills. Now they were a super success. They all sold out. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. But it's the data that was collected that's really, really valuable.
That's pretty cool.
And that data is now being used to change the technical file. So when it does change, I think you're going to see another level of Irish whiskey, because the inclusion of oats, the inclusion of rye, the inclusion of wheat at high quantities changes the flavour profile so much. Like nothing you've ever had. Like Scotch, let's be honest, it's malt, it's smoky, it's the same fucking thing, different distillery, So
I wouldn't be mad on Scotch whiskey.
No,
I'd like,
agreed, myself.
Yeah, wouldn't be mad.
Started on Scotch a little bit, but before
Walker,
I really knew what I was doing,
Yeah, I just always felt it was very, just like really strong.
It can be quite accurate.
Yeah. You're like, whoa.
Like I drank a glass of Octomore, which is basically the peatiest Scotch whiskey. Okay. I felt like I was on drugs. I fucking could barely drive the car home. Now, I only had a little drop, but like.
There was a night I remember when we were in Australia. I lived in Australia years ago, and one of the lads got Johnny Walker Blue Label. And geez, we drank a bottle of that between us. And I remember I was out in the middle of the road with my top off at one point, crying to the stars, going, ah! I was like, that stuff is fucking wild.
Where's my traffic cone?
And my trolley. Come on.
Where's the trolley? Where's the traffic cone?
Yeah. But wow, man. But just on that, right? But where do you think Irish whiskey now? I would have thought Irish whiskey in the world would have been.
It's faltering a little bit at the minute.
Do you want another dram?
I do, yeah. It's faltering a little bit at the minute through geopolitics, but it had a 10, 12 pretty much vertical growth pattern there for the last while. So it's taking a little bit of a pullback at the minute. I think, geopolitics, inflation, energy increases, all that has kind of, I wouldn't say not just Irish whiskey, but I think global trade in general is suffering a little bit because of everything that's happening.
Yeah.
You know, it's 10 grand a container to China now. When we first started, it was 1,800 euro.
Yeah.
You know, so all these costs are just dampening it. Like, but then again, it's also a consolidation factor. I think the market's gone. There's 56 distilleries now. We were number 31, I think. So.
Oh.
And we were quite late because we were in craft beer before.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, we had a few reasons to be a little bit later, but
So what year was it that you launched the Whistler? What was that?
launched the Whistler in 2015.
Okay, so
And
since
then
what, about 10
Boann, we only started distilling our first drop on the winter solstice 2019.
Okay, so it is
So
very new.
It's gas how we actually ended up distilling after
Yeah.
piping everything up, after screwing every bolt. We managed to lock it down on the day of the winter solstice.
Yeah.
And that was just fluke.
Yeah.
But that's why we managed to keep it going all the time, that solstice. And we kind of own the solstice night now. And we're trying to represent the locality as
Yeah,
well.
well,
you know?
that was one thing. Like the name Boann, you definitely tie it really into even the local area, Drogheda, Ireland. It's great, and
Yeah.
that's a really, really cool thing to kind of.
It's a nod to, obviously, Boann is the Irish
goddess.
name of the Boyne.
Yeah.
So Boann is obviously the goddess of the River Boyne.
Yeah.
We also take in Newgrange a lot with our solstices.
Yeah,
Oh no, we're proud
it's great.
proud members of the community
Yeah,
here,
yeah,
you know.
100%,
So
yeah.
we give it a lot of thought, and we're trying to create provenance and authenticity with what we do, and always keep quality at the forefront.
And when you go into the visitor centre, I'd imagine that's going to bring a lot of people to the area.
Well, 600,000 people visit Newgrange every year.
Do you want to hear just before a funny story about Newgrange,
Go
right?
on, go
So I go into the solstice every year,
Hey!
right? I go into it every year. And this year we were late getting up because our little one's only 2, and we ended up getting late. And the queues to actually get into the car park, right?
This is on the day, is
on
it?
the morning of
Yeah,
the solstice,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Fucking.
And did you have a ticket or?
No, so you don't.
I've been on the lottery system for about 15 years.
Yeah,
I
but you
still
can just go
haven't-
out
I
though.
still haven't won
You can
it,
just
like.
go out.
Well, we go about 2 hours later. And
Yeah,
everyone's gone, and,
yeah.
you see the light about a meter short of what it was. Same thing, you know?
yeah. But on the morning of it, and so we usually get out and we go into the car park, but this morning we were late, and there was a mile long of people on the road, like car park. So basically, one of the guards were like just abandoned ship, basically. Do you know what I mean? So everyone was like grand, right up into the ditches the whole way down.
Cross country,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, no, just like parked up along, and then you have to walk to the visitor centre and
Yeah,
get the bus up. So we were up there for a couple of hours, come back, and lovely morning, had the kids, the whole thing. 2 weeks later, get a fucking thing in the post, €40 traffic parking fine from up in the
There was
ditch.
no double yellows there, mate.
I was like, only in Ireland, like the literally guard just tells you, oh yeah, just pull up there in the road, be grand, and you come back in there day on out. But it was like all the people like coming to visit that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like from
Surely
everywhere.
that
You
could have
can
been foreseen,
You can
like,
waive
you
it,
know?
you know what I mean? But and anyway, that's why I just was like, oh, that is just Ireland.
What did you
in a
make of the
nutshell.
solstice in Newgrange on the day?
Well, on the day is amazing.
There's a power there, isn't there?
Oh man, like
we bring a staff. We have a staff in the distillery,
nice.
and we charge it every twice a year. So we
Nice.
all go up to the solstice and charge the staff. But there's a power there.
Oh, there
It's
is, man.
beautiful.
It's just
like,
all the people around and the barons going, and it's magic.
yeah, when we have clients in from America or any of our markets, always bring them up to Newgrange.
Yeah,
Everyone is
100%.
just like, how did I not know this existed?
Yeah,
You know, why isn't this on a postcard like the pyramids?
yeah.
you know?
Which it should be.
Well, it's older than the pyramids.
yeah,
you know,
it is.
so-
Yeah, it is, and it's mad the way. Or I just think that in Ireland, that's the way it is. We just brush things under the carpet sometimes.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It's like, lads, like we've everything, especially here. I think in Drogheda with the River Boyne, the mythology, Newgrange, everything. Do you know what I mean?
Mythology is, I think, this is probably the most
insane.
mythological area
It is.
there is.
Yeah,
like,
the salmon knowledge, the whole
Yeah.
like everything is basically based on the
Stories
River
go on
Boyne
forever, like,
I had a guy on here from Mythology Ireland, and just the story you could listen to him for 2 hours,
Yeah.
like the way he goes on. But you know, it's great to have a product like
wasn't your
whiskey
man
then.
who found the henge
Anthony-
with the
Anthony Murphy, yeah, Anthony Murphy, yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
My family home is on the Hill of Tara,
Oh,
so
on
we
the
go
Hill
up
of
to the
Tara.
Leah Foyle, and spent a lot of time
No
around
way.
there as well. Yeah,
gee, and do you know Anthony?
I don't.
No, he's fascinating.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. Well, I love all that ancient civilization world. I find it very interesting.
The stories he was here when I had him on the podcast, and you'd listen to him for hours. Just his knowledge, you know what I mean? Just tells you all about everything. You're like, man, how does your brain?
Yeah, we should all do one together.
Yeah, be good. Do it for do it for the launch of the next Solstice whiskey. Do you know what I mean? That'd be a nice.
But I remember when he found the Henge 2.
Yeah, it was over the drought or something like that, wasn't it?
Is anyone going to dig it up? Anyone out there going to dig up Henge 2?
No, they're not.
Come on, lads.
But like, even if you drive over, like, you know, normal roads, and you look into a field, you go, there's definitely something. Do you know what I mean?
He called it drone henge.
Yeah,
I think he called it drone henge. Yeah.
So that's what we'll put the request out. Get another one on the go.
Yeah, bring your shovels.
We'll all be out there. Come on. We'll have whiskey to back us up.
You won't be cold.
What was I going to say there? But yeah, so for the visitor centre and with Newgrange, so is it to enjoy all that? Oh, it's just enjoy everything.
It is. Well, I suppose it's us kind of finishing the project. When we bought the building, it was quite a large building as well. And we always kind of had it in the back of our head. Whiskey tourism, whiskey was really starting to get going again, which I hadn't been doing for 100 years. So 100 years ago, we 80% of the whiskey market, like 8 out of every 10 whiskeys poured were Irish back in, turn of the century time, like before Prohibition, all that stuff. So we've just kind of gone back to the roots, But yeah, the visitor centre was always a big piece because we knew we'd Newgrange there. We were right on the motorway.
Yeah.
It's an ex-car dealership that the distillery's in, so the location was always meant for passing traffic and meant for trade.
For sure.
So we've all the bus drivers that go to Newgrange going, when he is opening, lads, we can't drive our buses into Drogheda. We either have to go to Belfast or Dublin, you know what I mean? Which seems a bit of a waste because they have to go to the same roundabout that's on my distillery. So if I can get 10-20% of that custom.
Oh, I'd imagine you'd get an awful lot.
Yeah, and the Americans as well. Like, you've been in the building, like, it's a great building.
Fabulous, man, fabulous. It's
need to spend another few mil just to top it up. But
yeah, just to have it.
I think we're going to have 2 phases to the visitor centre, providing geopolitics don't just kick off now and things get worse.
Yeah,
we'll do phase 1, which I think is a kitchen, cocktail bar. We're putting in a microbrewery there as well. Lovely. So back to the beer. 3rd time at beer.
Yes.
I haven't had much success with beer.
Well,
my father's first brewery burnt down. Then we Boann Brewhouse, which we sold. Now we're just having a small one just to supply the actual visitor centre. So we'll have our own apple brandy. We'll have our own beer. We'll have our own whiskey. Have our own gin. Have our own liqueurs. So everything you'll buy at the distillery or everything you'll taste at the distillery will be our own products, and then all local food.
Deadly, man.
Yeah.
That is something that the town is really in need of, man.
I think so. Yeah. Well, we're trying to bring people to the town.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
that's
it's
what
just
we're hoping for,
something like that. Like, I know I was chatting to you the last time about it, but like having somewhere that like getting crowds of people to go to with like all that offerings is just going to be crazy.
Well, if we get it right, you can do functions there. God, we've a heap of people wanting to get married there.
Yeah. Oh wow.
I'm like, good women now, letting the lads get married in the distillery, it's probably, from a damage control perspective, it's probably not the best.
Nothing will go wrong with that.
But we've had the Drogheda concerts there, we've had grand pianos in there, so just hope to try and flesh all that out and develop that out to be a really interesting place to be.
Yeah.
Really interesting place to do things, really interesting place to share things, and that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
So
and
I thought I'd do it in 5 years, and here it's more like 15.
Yeah. Have you got a timeline, rough timeline?
I think, well, we're actually looking at plans today, so we're at that level now, so I think in my parents are married 50 years in September.
Nice.
And my dad wants to get phase 1 complete in September so we can throw a party.
Okay.
Yeah. It's funny, if you want to hit a deadline, turn the deadline into a party, invite a load of people.
You have to do
9 times out of 10, you'll get there, or you'll get most of the way there. Anyway.
I love that. It's just there's a big celebration going. Let's just fucking spend it.
Just go for it.
Yeah.
Whether there's a bar or not, it'll happen. But
I always loved the pale ale, the Boann pale ale and all these. I thought that was lovely,
loved it. Yeah. Beer was great, and it was the initial plan was that the craft brewery was gonna fund our whiskey stocks.
Yes.
Distilleries are the most hungry things I've ever come across in my life. I mean,
really?
the working capital is frightful.
Yeah.
Like, it'll knock the socks off you, like the bills that come in every month.
Oh, I'd imagine.
And you've put it in a warehouse and it goes to sleep for 10 years, 5 years, whatever it is. So your commitments to cash is quite huge, you know. So cash flow is always an issue because, as my father always says, the most expensive thing about distilling is not distilling. Because
Okay,
you've everything in place, you know. So
yeah.
if you're not distilling, you're just you just have a couple of people running around the building, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, trying to manage all that is tricky, but I think we're kind of over that side of it now. In the early years, the first couple of years where you had no product to sell,
Yeah.
like we're laying down
But then you're-
500 casks
yeah.
a month, 8,000 casks a year. I can't sell any of that.
It's just
I have
sitting
to
there
buy the
waiting.
wood, I have to pay for the electricity, I have to pay for the gas, I have to buy the grain, I have to build the distillery, I have to do all that stuff. So yeah, extremely risky around those couple of early years, you know. So we're in a good position now. We've got proper product and doing really well with awards. I think we're making phenomenal whiskey, I have to say.
Well, 99 out of 100.
Yeah, that says it all, like, you know.
Do you know what I mean? It's on the label.
And that's a big, San Francisco awards are the big ones. Like,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. So for obviously a lot of local people would be listening to this. So where can people taste your whiskey in the town?
Well, most of the pubs have it now. At
Yeah,
this
most
stage,
of the
I
pubs.
suppose. Yeah, most of the pubs. A little bit niche. You can buy a lot of it online. Online's quite big for us as well. You know, what our products are. You know, a lot of people like them at home. Like, this is a real. To me, this is a fire pit cigar, round with the lads,
Peaky Blinders.
that sort of thing. You know, because they're not cheap either. You know.
Yeah.
So in the pub they can be quite expensive, but. Yeah, that's how I like to drink my whiskey. I like drinking
Same.
it at home, you know.
Yeah. Nothing more when you can get the
Like
fire lit.
COVID for me was fucking planetary alignment, you know. Just at home with my bros drinking whiskey all the time.
Yeah, deadly.
And learned a lot from that as well,
Yeah.
you know. So
What in terms of taste and
just what we wanted to do, talking about
Yeah.
it, what we're trying to achieve. The hard thing, you can be busy every day, but unless you really kind of understand where you're trying to get to,
yeah.
it can be quite difficult. You know?
Do you think shows like Peaky Blinders and stuff like that help the sales of whiskey and stuff? Do you know the way?
It's funny, funny that you said that. When Peaky Blinders was going on, I think. But look, I think whiskey always kind of
It's like making a trendy or
emulates
something.
that cool, hard,
Yeah.
trendy. Like, whiskey's always going to be a product.
Yeah.
It's never gonna. It might have, big phases and low phases, but it's always going to be there.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
been there forever.
Yeah.
It'll be there for another 1,000 years.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
It's a great product. It's really clean. Yeah, it's just something that. Yeah, I really. And I loved beer, but when we had, I loved beer.
Yeah.
like, you know.
Yeah.
And I still love beer, but yeah, whiskey's just another level.
It
in
is,
my
isn't
opinion.
it?
It's another level of flavor. It's another level of sophistication. It's another way. It's another way to enjoy something. I think, you know, if you like big flavors, and that's what we do at Boann, they are big flavors.
Yeah.
If you like that, go for it.
Because even the way you speak of it, it's like I always thought people who love wine, right? And you see them and they sniff the wine, and it's like, oh yeah, there's all these like. But you're explaining it to me in that kind of sense as well, which I never really realized. That there can be all sorts of different kind of tastes and flavors, in it, like, you know,
100%,
which is really fascinating. Like.
100%. Like, I mean, the flavor, the broad flavor profile of what we have in the warehouse is just, you wouldn't believe it. Like,
Yeah,
I did a show. I did the Celtic Whiskey Springfest over the weekend, and I brought Amazonian oak or Brazilian oak, this Amberana wood, and basically it's like Fernet Branca or Jägermeister herbal liqueur. It's insane. Like, so we have Japanese oak, fragrant. We have Irish oak, that, you know, oakiness that we always love. You've European oak, or sorry, American oak, which kind of has vanilla. You've European oak for all your sherries, and then you've Brazilian oak out on its own.
Wow,
like,
why?
Like the, I don't know, the ugly cousin or the sexy cousin or whatever you want to call it.
Well,
like,
is
you
it
know?
good or bad?
It's
Oh, you
to
never-
me, it's interesting.
Okay.
Then good or bad.
Okay.
But if you ever tasted this, you'd be like, how does this flavor ever come from that tree? Like,
Wow.
it's phenomenal. Like.
Yeah.
So it's like the spice trail. It's cinnamon, cloves. Like, it's obviously the other side of the world.
Yeah.
But so is Japan.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
And
But it's just
the
completely
difference is
different.
phenomenal. Like, so the combinations of flavor that you can create through distillation, mash bills, which is the recipe, so your quantities of grain, and then the oaks that you use, and then obviously the casks that have been used previously in wine, sherry, whatever it is. It's like, it's an infinite amount of combinations of flavor, and our job is to hone that down
Yeah.
to something that people can understand
Yeah.
and give it to them in a nice sexy bowl.
Yeah. Well, you're definitely, you're proving with that.
We do, yeah.
And on the honey whiskey, how did that come about?
So my
Because
mother-
I just, that's like.
Well, that's probably the most successful product I have around the town.
Is it?
You know?
Yeah, but
flies,
man,
yeah.
that does not even need like a mix. I got a bottle of that at Christmas time, and I think like, hopefully my wife never listens to this. But I think I
Mine
finished
either.
it.
Tune out now.
Yeah, I think I finished it in like 2 or 3 nights. And I was just like, man, this is like ridiculous.
Yeah, it's dangerously good. like,
Dangerously good. Dangerously good.
Obviously, we have our facility in Tipperary that's a cream liqueur facility.
Right.
So when we started to develop Boann in Drogheda, obviously we started the Whistler, and eventually we kind of morphed into, well, let's start making, because we were making a lot of own label products in our facility in Tipperary. So we'd make cream liqueur for Aldi and Carrefour and some of the big retailers, and that's kind of the bread and butter business that we have down there. And we've great food scientists, we've got phenomenal technology, we've got huge laboratories, all that stuff, so we can make anything really.
Yeah.
Like, you know. So we said we'd morph into, so cream liqueur was the first one. So we did the Whistler cream liqueur, which is probably the most, like, from a production perspective, it's the most luxurious cream liqueur there is on the market, like, because we make most of the cream liqueur on the market. So it's 20% ABV. It's the highest butterfat content. It's the most luxurious, richest cream liqueur that can possibly be made. And I know that because I make all the cream liqueur, you know?
Shit.
That turned out to be a bit of a success. So that was kind of a more premium product than what we usually do. So the inputs were very costly. And then we said, right, we'll start doing a honey liqueur, because we've been making cider all our lives. My parents' house is about 10,000 apple trees, Dabonet and Michelin apple trees on their land. So when we sold the brewery, we actually sold the cidery as well. And we're now distilling the apples to make apple brandy. So in a couple of years, we're actually going to have our own apple brandy. Stay tuned on that one.
Yeah.
And which is a Calvados basically, but we can't call it Calvados. And then while that was happening, my mother tends to the orchards. She also is a beekeeper, and we were making all this honey. We'd nothing to do with it, but we needed the bees to pollinate the trees. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So we have about 8 hives. And we said, what are we going to do with this honey? We're like, right, we'll make a honey liqueur. And I remember when we were getting the samples, and Don just brought us up just one sample. And I was like, Don, usually you bring us up like, 10 samples and we pick, and he goes, this is the one. Lads.
Oh,
and
right,
we drank it, and we were like, fuck, that is woo.
Yeah.
Like, remember the crunchy bars?
Yeah.
It's like a liquid crunchy bar.
Yeah,
you know?
man. Yeah.
I was like, this is bringing nostalgia back. It's bringing everything back.
Yeah.
And so basically, we blend that with whiskey. We blend real honey, or my mother's honey, with the whiskey, which is mead honey.
I didn't know that you actually blend your own homemade honey.
Yeah,
that is
so there's a
class.
few other honey products on the market, but like if you taste them, there's just no comparison in quality, you know. We kept the alcohol really high, so 33%, and the reason we do that is because you get a lot of body from alcohol, you know. As soon as you start stripping away the alcohol, it becomes very thin, it becomes a bit meh. So we kept the alcohol high, which kind of was a bit unusual for that category, and obviously with the honey, but we didn't advertise it, didn't do too much with it.
Yeah.
Couple of bottles here, couple of bottles there. Then there was a couple of cases there. Then I was like, how is everyone drinking this? Is this like neat? Is it with ice? What's happening here?
Yeah.
And sure, the pubs are ordering. Like if I was selling, now there's difference in price, like, but if I was selling as much Boann as I was honey, I'd be flying.
You'd be
you know?
flying, for
it's,
sure.
It's a big difference in price, but
Yeah.
it's just a phenomenal product. So it's won the world's best honey twice.
Wow.
now. Yeah.
That is class.
So as a company, we've about 9 world's best, which is the most on the island out of everyone. Like, from cream liqueur to honey to whiskies to gins, everything.
Man, that's pretty incredible, man.
It is when you think about it. Yeah.
When you think about the history, as you said, of Irish whiskey and everything, man. That is really good in such a short span of time.
In whiskey time, it's a short space of time.
Yeah, it
it's still
is,
10
man.
years, but
Yeah, but like, you know, and there's massive big names out there, and are doing
well, that's the hard bit, is competing with
yeah.
the big names, because they're
So
you
who
know,
on the island of Ireland, who is your kind of say competitors or
Redbreast.
Redbreast?
Locked, loaded,
Is it?
horns,
Yeah,
ready
yeah.
to go. That's only a little personal
Is
thing
it?
that I have. I
Right.
grew up on Redbreast. I love it. Redbreast was probably the inspiration for us creating a pot still distillery, I have to say.
Okay.
So I can't knock it. Love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Fair play to them.
But
I'm coming after
it's
you.
Paddy, it's Paddy, come on, baby.
So our 3-year-old
yeah.
whiskey, we launched our very first bottling. It was 3 years and 1 day old.
Right.
And that's when you're legally Irish whiskey.
Oh.
And we made a solstice bottling, our very first bottle. Crashed the website, sold out. People
Yeah.
fucking driving up, knocking on the door. Where's the bottles? Where's the bottles? Sold out, lads. Can't sort it.
Jeez.
We entered that into a competition and we beat Redbreast 12. So we won the best pot still in Ireland under 12.
Wow.
And that's kind of where I'm competing at the minute. So Boann's only kind of 5 now. So yeah, Redbreast 27 beats me in the world every time. So I kind of have a little personal one
Right.
there
Yeah, but
to-
that's all right. That's
to get
good,
it
man,
going.
because that's what
And
gives-
they'll enjoy that as well.
Yeah, that's what
they've
gives you
had
the drive.
free reign for 30
Yeah.
years, you know.
Yeah.
So the category needs competition. The category needs people. The category needs innovators. The category needs a lot of stuff if Irish whiskey is going to be on the global stage again. So I'd like to think that we're
well, you're
paying a
there,
small
man.
contribution towards that, you know. And whatever about single malt's easy to make. Pot still's hard to make.
Okay.
So, you know, we choose it not because it is easy, but because it is hard.
Yeah, but that
I love
is-
the hard life over here. you know?
Yeah, 100%, man. But it's definitely paying off.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a lovely world to be in. You know,
Yeah.
without the, besides the business stress and all that.
Yeah,
crap.
but that like
the product end of it, the creation end of it, that whole end of it is lovely. It's really, really nice, I have to say.
Yeah, like it sounds like an absolute fascinating world to be in, man.
It is.
And yous are like 11 awards.
Well, world's best now, which that's when you have to win Ireland, and then if you win Ireland, your product goes up against everyone else in the
Okay.
world. So it's 2 rounds. You
Yeah.
have to win Ireland first, and then you go up against the world.
So in terms of who'd be against Ireland in
Japan,
Japan,
Australia,
oh yeah,
Scotland,
Yeah.
England now as well, America obviously.
but who'd be if you could pick another country of who were
By numbers,
yeah,
Scotch is number 1.
Scotch is it? Yeah,
And that's only because we fucked ourselves 100 years ago, and it's taken us that long to get back.
Right,
But
okay.
It won't take us 100 years to get back.
no, yeah,
By 2030, I think we'll be toe to toe. Like,
wow,
I think.
that's a good mindset.
Well, the figures were pointing towards that before all the geopolitical tension.
Yeah.
So, I keep saying all this, and it's very prevalent today when there's more
Yeah, there's
wars going on than
there's
we've
like-
ever seen in our lives. You know,
crazy,
And as
man.
my dad said recently, he was like, "Geez, it was very peaceful in the '90s," and I was like, "Well, I was only fucking 6." So
But but you know what as well is that we didn't have the fucking social media and the internet as much, so
Yeah.
all you could see was the news.
I don't
And
think we've gained a lot from all that. Yeah, life's easier.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
talk to you now, or
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
ring
yeah, yeah.
ring my wife.
Yeah.
Have we gained much?
No, I don't.
Are we
think so.
happier people?
I-
Are we nicer people?
I
don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
definitely don't think so. And I think that's it. It's when it's like I even find myself looking, when you're looking at what's happening, I was like, I have to stop. I have to stop, man, because it's just like it'll consume you.
That's
you know
where
what
you
I mean?
close the curtains, light the fire, and
Yeah,
open the
well,
bottle of
this is
Boann,
it.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and watch like Peaky Blinders or something. You know what I mean? But it's that, I don't want to know any more news. Like, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
because it is. It is.
But the reason geopolitics is so important is because I'm now a global, or my market is global.
Yeah.
So my number one focus is exports. Like, Irish whiskey is a global product, you know. And
Where's your big-
I could sell more whiskey in Sweden than I would in Ireland. You know, so
Oh.
abroad, Ireland is Irish whiskey is a really powerful team.
Yeah,
like,
it is,
You know,
yeah.
we have a great team. My brother looks after kind of America. Of Stephen Randalls, who's a colleague of mine. He looks after all the other countries as well. Kind of most of the world outside of America. And then I've Ludo, who used to be a distiller with us, lovely guy. He is based in Barcelona, and he's our linguist. So he speaks Spanish, French, English,
nice.
Chinese, all that as well. But
Yeah.
he's also a dogged salesman as well. So we like all that.
Yeah, class,
I have
man.
a fucking fabulous team, I have to say.
Yeah,
So,
it sounds like it, man.
took a long time to get it,
Yeah, but
it's a great team.
yeah. So look, man, I know you're a busy man. So just for the people of Drogheda and all the listeners and that. So what is the next stage? The next stage is the visitor centre.
Next stage is the visitor centre, yeah.
And
we're releasing another product now in April, May, which is a 40% Boann, which is just a bit of it's going to come out about €55 a bottle. Like, but it's a blend of single pot still, Boann, Fino, Amontillado, Pedro Jimenez, Oloroso, and I think that's about it. So it's a really complex entry brand for Boann, and something that we're kind of excited about as well.
Yeah.
So,
And so how do people get? Do you have to sign up with your website or
sign up with the website, boanndistillery.ie, sign up to the newsletter, or pop into the distillery. There's
you have a shop.
There's a little shop there open. Or hoodies, hats, beanies, all the stock. You can taste whatever you want. You can decide whatever you want. You can look at the pot stills, and you might even get a tour out of it. So.
But when you were saying though the sauce is basically sold out, like how do people have to sit and wait for it to launch, and then you like concert tickets?
There's
Is
a
that the
couple of
crack?
hundred people already. It's like Glasgow tickets.
Is
you know
it?
what I
Is
mean?
that the crack?
Yeah,
Like
a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
You just have a lot of people sitting on it, like
Pre-sale.
But we are making
Whiskey
we are
pre-sale.
making the quantities bigger now.
Yeah.
So it is getting a little bit easier, but still pretty hard. Like.
And then I know my brother will want me to ask this question, like, can people, the public, like, invest in whiskey barrels, or
You can
any
buy
of
a
that?
cask. Yeah,
You
we
can buy
actually
a
do
cask.
quite a bit of that as well.
Yeah, is that as an option?
It is.
And
yeah.
how do people go about that?
Just ring up the distillery.
Okay.
Yeah, ask for myself, ask for Stephen, ask for any of the team. We look after you. So the concept behind that is that you buy a cask, you pick your cask, bourbon, Pedro Jimenez, sherry, European oak, American oak, whatever you want it to be. We put it in at new make, so clear spirit, goes into the barrel. You leave it for 5 years. You can leave it for longer if you want. You can leave it for... I've people, son is born, they're buying a cask, they're leaving it for 18 years.
Nice.
So a lot of that
Can you
sort
do
of
that?
Patek Philippe kind of, generational sort of thing. It's romantic,
That is cool.
but it's also commercially a viable option. Like,
sure.
anyone that bought a cask off us 5 years ago, has made money, and then inflation on top of that, because it's an anti-inflationary asset, really. So it's a hedge against all the geopolitical bullshit that's happening now at the minute. Like, not the ultimate hedge. Stick 2, 3, 4, 5% of your portfolio into it. No harm. Anti-inflation, and inflation's just rampant at the minute.
Yeah,
so,
and what whiskey is it in the cask?
Sing Boann, single
Boann,
pot
so
still,
that's what
mixed
it is.
mash bill.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's as good as stuff as you're going to get, so...
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it's the money shot,
Yeah.
man. It's the money...
It's the money shot.
It's the money shot, yeah. But it's romantic as well, you'll always have your cask of whiskey, Now, you can sell it on. There's a lot of auction houses opening up at the minute. It's becoming there's an industry developing around it. It's a new asset class.
Yeah, for sure.
And as that asset class is kind of developing out, there's now auction houses where you can just upload your cask on, and all the bids that come in from around the world.
Wow, that's actually pretty good.
So when you're investing in casks, now there's a lot of distilleries that do this, but you always have to be sure about what wood you choose.
Yeah.
Very important. I always recommend sherry. I always recommend Oloroso, Pedro Jimenez, proven flavor profile, good quality wood. The distillery, extremely important. Where is the distillery going to be in 10 years?
Yeah.
Has it got a chance of making it?
Yeah.
There's 56 distilleries now. Will there be 10 in 10 years?
Yeah.
That's the question to me. What will the consolidation base be from 56 to, when I was in craft beer, it went from, 40 breweries back to 5.
Yeah. I remember there was the boom of that, and then they all.
Oh, 5 of note.
Yeah.
There's always little stuff happening around, but 5 of note for me. So I think we're in that little bit of a contraction phase. So,
Yeah,
Everyone's in that 2 mice fall into a bucket of cream.
Yeah,
One mouse drowned and or bucket of what was it? Bucket of butter and turned the cream into butter. So
Yeah.
and rose to the top and got away. So we're kind of in that phase now. At the
Yeah,
minute,
man.
You know?
Because I definitely know. I myself, I think, was on to you before about that. That like it's. I think that's a really cool thing. Imagine your son is born, you go, I'll buy you whiskey when you're 18.
I'd be into it. Yeah, I'd be into
that's
it.
pretty
well,
cool.
like let it grow.
Yeah, you know,
It'll just grow in the background, you know, like it's not the same now, but for the last 10 years, the price appreciation of Irish whiskey's gone through the fucking roof, like, you know.
Yeah.
Gone through the roof.
And then the way you are going, man, it's up and up and up.
Up and up and up. well, we're secure anyway for the future, you know. We've product now. We've kind of gotten over those risky years, those risky capital requirement years, and have the brand really getting a really good reputation for everything we do. I was at the show, the Celtic Whiskey Show in Imma last week, and I was mobbed. Like, literally 100 people at the stand. Security actually had to be at the stand to try and control some of the people, yeah. Because I brought about 5 warehouse samples.
Okay.
Which no one gets to taste, or they're from the cask.
Yeah.
And sure, everyone goes bananas for them, like, you know.
Yeah,
so,
deadly, yeah. What, you give me the sample.
Well, we'd Mizunar, we Japanese oak.
Yeah, right.
We had Fondolon, which is a semi-sweet red wine from Alicante, Spain, where they actually leave the grapes out in the sun, so the sugars caramelize. So you get this real viscous kind of quality red wine from it. Then we had the Ambriana wood, the Amazonian oak, which was fucking wild. And then we had our teardrop cask. So my brother looks after cask management.
Okay.
My brother is a gas fella, like, so he buys all the mad shit. Buys the maddest shit there is, you know. And like tries to tell my dad, he's like, look, I got these few new casks here, and they're this and that, and in the background they're just some mad fucking thing that no one's heard of, like. And he does a great job on that, and just adds to our flavor library. And that's really what we try and do, is show people exactly what whiskey is. Like, most people don't understand. It's Jameson, it's this, it's that, Jemmy and Coke. It's not that. No. It's actually very far from that. That's actually base fucking -1. Like, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, it's a big education piece there. And
yeah, well, look, I have to say,
when you get to our age, Dahi, you want a nice drink.
Yeah, no, I agree,
when you have
man.
kids, like we do,
yeah.
It's not about 6 cans or 10 cans or 12 cans.
Definitely not.
It's a nice drink.
Yeah.
When I get the time, because I have no time. I know you've no time.
Yeah.
I know no one's any time.
No one's any
when
time.
When you do get 20 minutes, make it worthwhile.
Absolutely worth
Capitalize.
And do it with Boann or
the honey.
Or the honey, because it's absolutely delicious. But Paddy, I have to say thank you very much for coming down and chatting, man. It was a pleasure, and I could talk about whiskey all night.
Is that an hour, is it?
I'd say so. It's probably, Is
it an hour? So we've put about 18 minutes there. Like,
oh, you're nearly finished now.
Well finished, Been finished for about 18 minutes now, but there we go.
It's coming up. This is going to be released on Friday, and it's in time for Paddy's weekend.
Great.
And everyone out there, if you're about in the pub over the weekend, do spoil yourself and taste some of Paddy's lovely whiskey.
Please do. Get a honey into you, but pay that little bit extra and try some of the Boann stuff. It is a real treat. Like, I've spent my entire life trying to formulate this product, so
yeah, man, real
treat, real whiskey for real people. So enjoy, for Drogheda people.
Yes. Paddy, thanks very much, bro.
Pleasure, Daddy. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you. Nice.
From that day we shared cafe lattes. Ooh, cafe latte.